Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Jason Shea, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the field.
Every product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son.
60% of all toys last year were sold on Amazon, which is incredible.
Be passionate about it because it's a road, it's a journey.
Like when you have an idea that you think is like gonna somewhat like change the world, make things better, I'd say go for it.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed. Today's episode we're joined by Blaine, a technologist, a futurist, and a creativity coach who have introduced his first ever tabletop creation, Six the card game. Designed for age 7 and up, Base 6 isn't just a game, it's also a flexible platform that boosts creativity, cognitive skill, and also social interactions. Blaine's going to show us how his tech background and his passion for game design lead to this current innovative tool for learning and for play. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you very much, Jason.
Yeah, so first of all, will you mind sharing a little bit about your background and what inspired you to create the Basics game?
Yeah, I came out of the innovation at AT&T Labs. We were designing things, and really, I felt the most energized creative effects and the production and distribution side of it. So what got me sparked, though, is you brought up the futurist aspect, and I had started reading a book from Blaine Mcdonnell, and she had a book called Imaginable, which was about the gamification of futures thinking.
Okay.
So I read that, got really interested in it, and ended up taking a certification course in that. And they introduced a game in there, but it seemed, it was like an hour long. It seemed like a lot of work. And then I left out of that and went into design thinking, alien thinking, strategic thinking, and all the gamifications seemed a lot like work. I also researched, studied cognitive flow and getting in that state of continual creativity, and really wanted to ignite that. And I thought back to how I was thinking when I was in AT&T Labs and my business, and what, read a bunch of other creativity books and really understand the process, and wanted to make that fun, something that you'd come back to, but not be taught or instructed or really realize you're learning. And so I call it a covert skill building tool, because it's really trying to just spark that flow in people, and then once it's going, they just keep flowing. And that's what was happening to me in the ideation labs. It's like every week I'd have like 60, 70 different ideas, and then I'd hold business models.
I see. And I know you have a copy of your game. If you can share, explain a little bit about how the game is being played and what is the rule behind it, that'd be great.
Yeah, so this is what the box looks like. We've got 182 cards in here and 10 dice. The cards are really a blend between, I had a lot of influence from like Uno, dominoes, story cubes, and regular playing cards, because I play a lot of playing cards, and I wanted to be able to play my playing card games, play a lot of, we always came back to Uno. I really wanted something that could spark the creativity and storytelling, something you'd want to come back to all the time, like Uno and playing cards. People just always come back to those games. So I kind of wanted to bridge those together. So, and then we have some actions too. So took standard playing card ranks on all the cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then they could be rotated anyway. And then images to where you can join them. They're all unique images, repeated 6 times, never on the same color, never on the same rank, never on the same ordinal position across that. And there's really 2 sets in there. I do want to cover that. That's one set is just a standard set with standard suits, and then the other set is action set. Originally, when it was built, was intended to be an expansion for the base set. My kids loved it so much, we combined it and made it one set and just went that direction with it rather than having an expansion. That's why we called it the launch pack, because it's kind of like, as your dice, has the standard card game, which we built a lot of games for that, and you can create a lot more. And then we have the actions. We have so many.
So you line up the edges, then what do you do next?
All right. So the base rules, it plays down similar to Uno. and we've got lots of rules, but the base rules that are in the box are similar gameplay as Uno, where you're playing down, but you're playing out across spatial area and you're joining cards. There are some distinct differences between Uno and this, and a lot more strategy. So you're going to combine based on rank or color
Okay.
and come up with a story based on the combination. For example, here is a bee and an archer, and they're intentionally abstract so you can interpret them how you want or play a relationship style game. And it gives the player also agency to where they can decide which card to play and which sides to play it on. And you could join on multiple sides and come up with much more complex and intricate stories. So I
I
might say
see.
like this one is I do a lot of archery, so this is a little personal for me.
Mhm.
I was out shooting my bow and arrow, and I stepped on a nest, and they attacked me. Something like,
I
and you
see.
can be as funny or age appropriate or as detailed as you want. We talked about developing courses too for kids and lesson plans. You can take them and use them to drive a story creation, a comic book creation, or pictures, depending on the age group. We got story cubes initially to spark my kids' imagination with doing their homework assignment. They always said they couldn't think of anything, but after that, it just went on a shelf and it hasn't really been out since. So that's kind of, I didn't want that because I think that's a good skill build.
I
And
see. I see.
we recommend you coming up with a story, but it's not required. Sometimes you get in 2, 3 other people. Some people are telling stories, and then people put down on a combination, and then find they start wanting to tell a story. So it's
Mm.
intended to kind of bring that social
Aspect.
communication aspect out of people
Okay. And you
without
also
feeling.
really help developing like creativity skill as well, right?
Well, yeah, the creativity, the communication of the ideas. When you're like an entrepreneur, we do this pitch karaoke thing in our entrepreneurship group, and we used the cards for that one time, or
Mhm.
a couple times, where we combine the images and then we sell it, we pitch it. And we also have a game that we interact with, kind of like an investment type approach with that kind of idea and into the gameplay, which is more of a scoring model for the stories. The base one is not in the book, is more just to kind of pull you out of that. And then once you're comfortable in that situation, you can expand into more of those scored on ones or the relationship ones.
I see. What would you say is the main target age group that this game is designed for, and how flexible is the gameplay?
Well, really, it's designed for anybody. I've even played with 5-year-olds, but the box is marked at 7-year-old, 7 and up. It is
Mhm.
intended for anybody. I mean, anybody plays. My grandpa was 98 playing cards when he died.
Mhm.
So, these could be used as for that. And we got a lot of detailed strategy games that are more for adult groups. My friends all love playing. We've got one called High Queen, which is a head-to-head one that a lot of people really like that have played it.
I see. And I think you also refer to this whole kind of ecosystem you're building as a platform. Can you also kind of expand on like the other things that you're also building that's attached to this?
A lot of people, when I'm out at the shows, they come up and say, well, it's a system like playing cards. For me, a system is more like I go out and buy a game and to be able to play it on here. This is really more of a building platform to where you could build, create, launch, or share. We've got a whole community aspect. I'm in this to spread the passion for creativity and building these other critical skills like lateral thinking, divergent thinking. It's really kind of and social skills. Honestly, we've been getting all this staring at your phones all day or being stuck on a computer all day. Really don't get that social interaction.
I see. And can you give a more example of what type of activities or game can people really build around the basic system?
They are abstract. Any standard playing card game, we've got any standard dice game. We've taken those standard playing card games that everybody's used to, and then we put a creativity spin on it, or maybe a strategy spin on it, or a spatial, because it plays out because of the shape, and you have
Yeah,
sides to join on. It leads to a bunch of different ways to play. So we've created some unique games. I think we got pyramid and diamond, and we've got also a 3-way game out. We have spatial battle games that we've built and shared the rules out.
Hmm.
Also, I referenced the High Queen, which is the head-to-head competition one.
I see.
But I wanted to touch on, we have like 6 dimensions to it, really. You got the dice, the spatial, the ranks, the suits, actions, and the images. And you can use all those elements to build a game. You don't have to use every one of them in each game. You could play like a stack version of the game, and we have a stack version called Shia, which is 6 in Celtic, but which is intended more for space constrained or travel. We have those rules out online as well.
Okay, so you have a few different rules that you just mentioned that you can play the game a little bit differently. And how would you say with your background in tech and that really influenced the way you're designing the current games and also your journey in the game industry so far?
A lot of that, going back to the introduction where we were talking about in the ideation labs, we were designing hardware, designing ways to communicate and just connecting things that might not normally be connected. Then starting the business, we were also combining things that weren't usually together,
Mhm.
and coming up with new products. And then you look at all the previous research that comes out of, I worked a bit at, Monsanto and Solutia. That's how they were inventing things too. They took things from nature, aspects of nature, put them with the material, bring them together, and they have a new product. They did that with, I think posted notes, Velcro, stuff like those examples that they came out of 3M. That's kind of how we evolve naturally, and being able to make that connection. The other key thing is noticing the combination, noticing the connection.
How do you envision basics being used in the school environment or other learning environment?
And that really is going back to where you can split the class up into groups, and rather than playing traditional ones, we've created some lesson plans to where you might combine 3 cards to come up with the character, combine 3 cards to come up with the environment, and 3 cards to come up with the action, and then you come out with a story or an idea or product out of that. Maybe in the youngest grade, like 2nd grade, you might end up drawing a picture out of that. Then the next one, you might turn that into a comic book. And then the next one, you might turn it into a story. And then, we get in 4th grade, you take that and you pitch it as an idea and try to sell the class on it. And then the class votes, kind of evolve those skills into more of a product creation type mindset.
Okay, I see. And so far in your journey of creating these companies, what has some of the biggest challenge you have faced creating your first product?
Where your business is best suited, which is in the marketing aspect, has been the biggest struggle
I see.
for me, and the amount of time investment. So having that skill, and you've helped me a lot with that as well too. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah,
And being able to position and reposition products to be more visible.
I see.
That's one of the biggest struggles.
Yeah, that's a common struggle and challenges a lot of the startup entrepreneur that I talk to also face. It's not easy to kind of get the name out there and really bring the kind of a market awareness for the product that you're creating. So what is next for Basics, the platform, the games? What is on the horizon? Any additional expansion you're working on or any partnership that you're working on?
Got a lot going on, giving a facelift to the site. And then I'm working on some code for changing the rule sets to be in a standard template that also focuses on what skills that particular game focuses on. And also the courses and the lesson plans do have additional sets that we have in print play right now, but really want to focus on this first product, getting the rule sets out there. Those rules can be applied to all the sets. They bring more imageries, more color in there to create more stories. And we have some other actions too, which you test out the actions. We put them out online. You can use like overload the question mark or one of the other cards with a different type of action and test that out. We've got some of a matrix out online too. The matrix ends up coming up to 319 million different gameplay variations.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah.
They're just slight modifications. The dice were really in the set for that matrix. The matrix is one sheet and you roll the 10 die, and it comes up with just the 6 rows, the color, and the columns, the number, and it comes up with a bunch of different variations that you can pretty much play a different game every day for the rest of your, or every minute for the rest of your life. And we also have patterns, which then double that. So
Yeah,
or actually triple it, because there's 3 different ways to do that.
I see.
It's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. So, as well, kind of wrapping up in today's interview here, if you have to share just one piece of advice with someone else that's also getting started in the toys and game industry, what would that be?
Well, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and I always say, don't be afraid, take action, get moving. There are a lot of people in this particular segment. There are a lot of good people that really love what they're doing. It's a great community, great support for the most part, and everybody's willing to help everybody out. Just do it. Take action is that's the most important thing. Everybody's got a lot of ideas. The ones that move on it are the ones that are going to make progress.
For sure. So for those listener and our audience that's interested to learn a little bit more about you and your companies, where is the best place for people to find you online?
I'm on LinkedIn, and probably the only Blaine Mcdonnell out there on LinkedIn. So I'm pretty easy to find. We have our site is base-six.com for the game. My company, Armoin, ARMOIN.com, is more of a technology consulting business. And then we have another one called Hive-ID, and we do apps and hardware technology, which is HIVE-ID. There's a few Hive IDs out there. And then I'm on Facebook too. We have one for the business and for me as well. We have TikTok and Instagram. I have not been posting enough on there. We're trying to work on. I've got some help. Somebody joined me in this adventure, and they're going to really help with the video content and pushing that out.
I see. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for your time today, sharing your journey and some of your experience building your own card game company so far.
Thank you. And I do want to add in, my kids have been helping out a ton. We're also working on a book with the game. So it is a family kind of business. We just invite everybody to join the family and share.
I see. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And for our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We hope you have enjoyed today's conversation and find it insightful and inspiring. If you like what you have heard, be sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode. We really appreciate your support, and we'd love it if you can leave us a review and share the podcast with your friend and colleague. For more resource tips and the latest update within the toys and game industry, visit our website at toy-launch.com. Join the conversation and connect with us on social media using hashtag ToyBusinessUnboxed. We'd love to hear your feedback and suggestions for future episodes. Until next time, keep innovating, keep creating, keep bringing joy to toys. This is Jason Shea signing off on the Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.